Hi, welcome to Doors of Novel. Let's start. Animal Farm. A fairy story by George Orwell. Chapter number 1. Mr. Jones of the Manor Farm had locked the hen house for the night, but was too drunk to remember to shut the pop holes. With the ring of the light from his lantern dancing from side to side, he lurched across the yard, kicked off his boot at the back door, drew himself a last glass of beer from the barrel in the scullery, and made his way up to bed where Mrs. Jones was already snoring.
As soon as the light in the bedroom went out, there was a stirring and fluttering all through the farm building. Word had gone round during the day that old Major, the prize medal white boar, had a strange dream on the previous night, and wished to communicate it to the other animals. And it had been agreed that they should be all meet in the big barn as soon as Mr. Jones was safely out of the way. Old Major, he was always called through the name under which he had been exhibited, was Wellington Beauty, was so highly regarded on the farm that everyone was quite ready to lose an hour in order to hear what he had to say. At one end of the big bands, on a sort of raised platform, Major was already ensconced on his bed of the straw, under a lantern which hangs from a beam. He was 12-year-old and had a lately grown there stout, but he was a still majestic-looking pig, but with a wise and benevolent appearance in spite of the fact that his touches had never been cut. Before long the other animals began to arrive and make themselves comfortable after the different fashions. First came the three dogs, Bluebell, Jessie, and Pinchers, and then the pigs, who settled down in their straw immediately in front of the platform. The hens stretched themselves on the window sills. The pigeons fluttered up to the rafter, the sheep and cows lay down behind the pigs, began to chew the curd. The two cart horses, Boxer and Clover, came in together. Walking very slowly, settled down, their watched hairy hoofs with a great care lest there should be some small animal concealed in the straw. Clover was a stout, motherly mare approaching middle life who had never quite got her figure back after her fourth fall. Boxer was an enormous beast, nearly 18 hands high, and as strong as any two ordinary horses put together. A white stripe down his nose gave him somewhat stupid appearance, and in fact he was not first-rate intelligence, but he was a universal respected from his steadiness of character and tremendous power of work. After the horses came Muriel the white goat, and the Benjamin the donkey. Benjamin was the oldest animal on the farm, and the worst tempered. He slammed down, talked, and when he did, it was usually to make some clinical remark. From instant he would say that God had given him to a tail to keep the flies off, but that he would sooner have had no tail and no flies. Along among the animals on the farm, he never laughed. He asked why. He would say that he saw something to laugh at. Nevertheless, without openly admitting it, he was devoted to Boxer. The two of them usually spent their Sunday together in the small paddock behind the orchard, grazing side by side and never speaking. The two horses had just lain down when a brood of ducklings, which had lost their mother, filled into the barn, chirping feebly and wandering from side to side to find some places where they would not be trodden on. Clover made a sort of whirl around them with their great forelegs, and the duckling nested down inside it and promptly fell asleep. At the last moment, Molly, the foolish pretty white mare who drove Mr. Jones' truck, came mincing daintily and chewing at their lump of sugar. She took a place near the front and began fluttering her white mane, hoping to draw attention to the red ribbons it was plaited with. The last of all came the cat, who looked around as usual for the warmest places and finally squeezed herself in between the Boxer and Clover. There she spewed contentedly throughout major speech without listening to a word of what was saying. All the animals were now present, except Moses, the tame Raman, who slept on the perch behind the back door. When Major saw that they had all they made themselves comfortable, were waiting attentively, he cleared his throat and began. Now, comrades, what is the nature of this life of ours? Let us face it. Our lives are miserable, laborious, and short. We are born, we are given just so much food as will keep the breath in our bodies, and those of who are capable of it are forced to work to the last atom of strength. And the very instant that our usefulness have come to an end, we are slaughtered with hideous cruelty. No animals in England know the meaning of happiness or leisure after he is year old. No animals in England is free. The life of an animal is misery and slavery. That is the plain truth.
But is the simply part of order of nature? Is it because this land is ours poor that it cannot afford a decent life to those who dwell upon it? No, comrades, 1,000 times no. The soil of England is fertile. Its climate is good. It is capable of affording food in abundance and enormously greater number of animals than now inhabit it. This single farm of ours would support a dozens of horses, twenties of cows, hundreds of sheep, and all of them living in a comfort and a dignity that are now almost beyond in our imagining. Why then do we continue in this miserable condition? Because nearly the whole of the producer of labor is stolen from us by human being. Their comrades is the answer to all our problem is summoned up a single word, man. Man is the only real enemy we have. Remove man from the scene and the root cause of hunger and overwork is abolished forever. And even the miserable life we lead are not allowed to reach their natural span. For myself, I do not grumble, for I am. Man is the only creature that consumes without producing. He does not give milk, he does not lay eggs, he is too weak to pull the plough. He cannot run fast enough to catch rabbits. Yet he is the lord of all the animals. He set them to work, he gives back them to the bare minimum that will prevent them from starving. And the rest of he keep for himself. Our labors till the soil, our dung fertilize it, and yet there is not one of us that own more than his bare skin. You cows that I see before me, how many thousands of gallon milk have you given during the last year? And what happened to that milk which should have been breeding up steady calves? Every drop of it is gone down the throat of our enemies. And you hens, how many eggs you have been laid in the last year? And how many of those eggs are hatched into the chicken? The rest have all gone to the market, the bringing in the money for Jones and his men. And you, Clover, where are those 4 fowls you bore, who should have been support the pleasure of your old age? Each was sold at a year old, will never see one of them again. In return of your 4 confinement and all your labor in the field, what have you ever had except your bare ration and a stall? And even the miserable life we lead are not allowed to reach their natural span. For myself, I do not grumble, for I am one of the lucky ones. I am 12-year-old and I have had over 400 children, such in the natural life of pig. But no animals escape the cruel knife in the end. You young porker who are sitting in the front of me, every one of you will scream your lives after the block within a year. To that horror we all must come, cows, pigs, hens, sheep, everyone. Even the horses and the dogs have no better fate. You boxer, the very day that those great muscles of yours lose their power, Jones will sail into the knackers, will cut your throat and boil you down in a foxhound. As for the dogs, when they grow old and toothless, Jones take a brick round their neck and drown themselves in the nearest pond. Is it not crystal clear, then, comrades, that all the evils of the life of our spring from the tyranny of human being? Only get rid of man, and the produce of our labor would be our own. Almost overnight we could become rich and free. What then must we do? We work on night and day, body and soul, for the overthrow of the human race. That is my message to you, comrades. A rebellion. I do not know when the rebellion will come. It might be in a week or 100 years. But I know, as surely as I see the straw beneath my feet, that sooner or later justice will be done. Fix your eyes on that, comrades, throughout the short remainder of your lives, and above all, pass on this message of mine to those who come after you, so that future generation shall carry on the struggle until it is victorious. And remember, comrades, your resolution must never falter. No argument must lead you astray. Never listen when they tell you that man and the animal have a common interest, that the prosperity of the one is the prosperity of the others. It is all lies. Man serves the interest of no creature except himself. And among us animals, let it there be a perfect unity, perfect comradeship in the struggle. All men are enemies, all animals are comrades. At this moment, there was a tremendous uproar. While Major was speaking, four rats had crept out of their holes and were sitting on their hindquarters, listening to them. The dogs had suddenly caught sight of them, and it was only by a swift dash for their holes that the rats saved their lives. Major raised his daughter for silence. Comrades, he said, here is the point that must be settled. The wild creatures, such as rats and the rabbits, are they our friends or our enemies? Let us put it to the vote. I propose the question to the meeting. Are rats comrades? The vote was taken at once, and it was agreed by an overwhelming majority that rats were comrades. There were only four dissentient: the three dogs and the cat, who was afterwards discovered to have voted on both sides. Major continued. I have little more to say. I merely repeat. Remember always your duty of enmity towards man and his always. Whatever goes upon two legs in an enemy, whatever goes upon four legs or has wings, is a friend. And remember also that is fighting against man. We must not come to resemble him. Even when you have conquered him, do not adopt his vice. No animals must have live in a house or sleep in a bed or wear clothes or drink alcohol or smoke tobacco or touch money or engage in a trade. All the habits of man are evil. And above all, no animals must every tyranny over his own kind, weak or strong, clever or simple. We are all brother. No animals must ever kill any other animal. All animals are equal. And now, comrades, I will tell you about my dream of last night. I cannot describe that dream to you. It was a dream of the earth as it is will be when man has vanished, but it reminded me of something that I had long forgotten. Many years ago, when I was a little big, my mother and the other sows used to sing a old song of which they know only the tune and the first three words. I had know the tune in my infancy, but I had long since passed out of my mind. Last night, however, it came back to me in my dream, and what is more, the words of the song also came back a words. I am certain which were sung by the animals of the long ago and have been a lost up to memory for generation. I will sing you that song now, comrades, and I am old and my voice is hoarse, but when I taught you the tune, you can sing it better for yourself. It is called The Beast of England. Old Major cleared his throat, began to sing. As he said, his voice was hoarse, but he sang well enough, and it was a stirring tune, something between Clementine and La Curcha, the word run. Beast of England, beast of Ireland, beast of every land and clime, hearken to my joyful tiding of the golden future time. Soon or late the day is coming, tyrant man shall be overthrown, and the fruitful field of England shall be trod by the beast alone. Ring shall vanish from our noses, and the harness from our neck. Bit and spoil shall rust forever, cruel whip no more shall crack. Riches more than fine can picture, wheat and barley, oat and lay, close being mangled wozer, shall be our upon the day. Bright will shine the field of England, purer shall its water be, sweeter yet shall blow its breeze on that day set us free. For that day we all must labour, though we die before it break, cows and horses, geese and turkey, all must toil for freedom's sake. Beast of England, beast of Ireland, beast of every land and clime, hearken well and spread my tiding of the golden future time. The singing of the song threw the animals into the wildest excitement, almost before Major had reached the end. They had begun singing it for themselves. Even the stupidest of them had already picked up their tune and few of their words, and as for the clever ones, such as the pig and dogs, they had the entire song by heart within a few minutes. And then, after a few preliminary tries, the whole farm burst out into the beast of England in tremendous unison. The cows loved it, the dogs whinnied it, the sheep bleated it, the horse whinnied it, the ducks quacked it. They were so delighted with the song that they sang it right through 5 times in a succession, and might have continued singing all the night if they had not been interrupted. Unfortunately, the uproar awoke Mr. Jones, who sprang out for the bed, making sure that there was a fox in the yard. He seized the gun which was always stood in the corner of his bedroom, and a lightning fly charge of number six shot into the darkness. The pellet buried themselves in the wall of the barn, and the meeting broke up hurriedly. Everyone fled into the own sleeping place. The bird jumped onto the breeches, the animal settled down in the straw, and the whole farm was asleep in a moment.